Watching horror movies may not be everyone's hobby, especially kids, but Norman is different. He loves ghosts. This is because of his special power of communicating with dead people. Norman lives in a small house with his parents and elder sister, Courtney. One night, Norman asks his father Perry to turn on the heating system as Grandma is feeling cold. Perry gets frustrated and reminds Norman of the thousands of times he told him Grandma is dead. Despite this, Norman tries to convince his family of what he sees. He talks to the ghost of his grandma every day, and it stays in the living room. No one believes him. Perry starts arguing with his wife Sandra for not bringing up Norman properly. He believes it's all because of her weird uncle, Prendergast, who behaved similarly to Norman. Meanwhile, Norman has never met his uncle and wonders if there's another person like him in this world. The next day, he gets ready for school and steps out in the streets. On his way, he greets all the ghosts walking by. They all really like Norman, but the poor kid is misunderstood by the people around him. Even at school, everyone calls him a freak and bullies him now and then. Norman tries his best to fit in and takes part in the school play as well. Unfortunately, the bullies don't leave him there either. Norman ends up being a weirdo again. There's another kid who's suffering bullying. It's Neil, but others call him Fatty because of his chubby appearance. However, he's way more positive. He follows Norman after school and insists on becoming friends. Instead of finding it weird, Neil is really impressed by Norman's abilities. They walk by the witch statue and hear a man's voice. It's Prendergast. He jumps out and starts talking to Norman. The kid tries to avoid him, but the creepy guy wants to inform him about an upcoming event. It's the witch curse. It's real and coming their way. Prendergast can't fulfill the responsibility of town protection anymore. He wants to hand over this task to Norman as he can also communicate with ghosts. Prendergast leaves after telling Norman to stay away from the signs he might receive in the future. Norman ignores all of the creepy conversations as his parents always advised him to stay away from his uncle. He's considered just a crazy old man. However, Neil seems to be quite fascinated by Norman's and his uncle's power of seeing ghosts. He drags Norman to his house. He wants to know if Norman can see the ghost of Neil's dead puppy. His elder brother Mitch warns him of staying away from weird people, but Neil doesn't find anything wrong with Norman and takes him to the backyard. Together they play with the dog's ghost and have a great time. Days pass by quickly, and it's time for the school play. All students perform really well and present a tribute to the witch festival. They remind everyone of the time when the villagers killed the wicked witch. Everyone is enjoying the show except Norman. He notices a strange owl flying around. Then he finds himself stuck in a dark forest with people running to kill him. He jumps out of his thoughts while shouting, "The dead are coming!" The audience is left in shock. They all assume Norman has some mental disease. His parents aren't happy either. Perry scolds Norman for behaving abnormally in front of others. He also says that he never wished to have a son like him. These harsh words break Norman's heart. No one understands the poor child. Things get worse the next day. Everyone at school makes fun of Norman. He can't take it anymore and locks himself in the restroom. Suddenly, the wind starts to blow. The walls are trembling and the toilet seat overflows. Norman screams in fear and closes his eyes. The toilet seat opens up and a ghost steps out of it. It's Prendergast. He died of a heart attack and now he must pass on his responsibilities to someone else. It can be no other than Norman. When the witch was executed, she left a curse in the whole town. Prendergast has been stopping her ghost from coming back for years. If she succeeds in coming, the dead will rise from their graves. Norman must stop her by taking guidance from a special book left in Prendergast's house. He must read it at the witch's grave before sunset. After finishing off the last task, Prendergast's soul rests away in peace while Norman is left with a huge responsibility. While being grounded by his dad, Norman keeps questioning whether he should listen to Prendergast or not. Neil comes over to meet him, but he's scared of accompanying Norman on creepy missions. He's left alone again with the monstrous toys around him that keep reminding him of the promise he made with Prendergast. Suddenly, his grandma comes over to see him. Her soul hasn't left this world yet, as she promised to look after Norman. She believes one shouldn't be scared of anything unless it's something that can change you. Her words motivate Norman and he sneaks out of the house on his bicycle. It's less than an hour left to complete the mission. In a rush, he drives by the school bully Alvin and makes him angry, follows him to tease him again. Norman reaches near the mountains and steps inside the creepy cottage. Prendergast's house is full of abnormal stuff. A bunch of flying bugs attack Norman and make him break into the study room. He falls right beside Prendergast's dead body. He's holding the book in his hand strongly. Norman tries his best to snatch the book, but it seems impossible. After continuous attempts, he finally succeeded. Afterward, he heads to the graveyard. He walks into the bushes and finds the place where the witch and her victims were buried. Norman opens the book and starts reading it in a loud voice. Surprisingly, it doesn't seem like a spellbook, but more like a fairy tale. While Norman was wondering, Alvin appears out of nowhere and snatches away the book. The sun sets in and the wind starts to blow vigorously. The witch has arisen. The ground begins to tremble and the dead break out of their graves. The zombies surround the kids from all sides. Norman tries to stop them by reading the book, but it doesn't work at all. They have no other option left. They must run. Meanwhile, Courtney's looking for her brother and reaches Neil's house. Norman isn't there, but Neil believes he might have gone to the graveyard. Courtney requests Mitch to accompany her in finding his brother, and they all head toward the graveyard. Norman and Alvin have hidden inside Prendergast's cottage. Norman looks around the study room to figure out why the ritual wasn't working. He finds a picture of the 7 victims of the witch's curse. This reminds him there were only 7 graves where he read the book. The witch's grave wasn't there, and that's why the ritual didn't work. Suddenly, he hears someone at the door. The zombies have arrived. Norman and Alvin hide away, but Alvin couldn't hold back his screams. He cries and runs to the door. Another zombie is standing there. Norman slams the door at the zombie and he runs out with Alvin. They reach the road where Mitch's car runs over a zombie. Other zombies come over too. Mitch drives in a rush, but one of the zombies climbs up the car. Courtney blames Norman for all that's happening. She doesn't know he's the one who can save them. The zombie breaks into the car and attacks them. The only way to stop them is to find the witch's actual grave. Neil suggests calling their classmate Salma, as she's the brightest student in history. Salma looks on Google and finds out that the town hall may have some useful information. Norman instructs Mitch to drive to the town hall, but he loses control and the car falls over a hill. It gets completely destroyed, but luckily, all the passengers are safe. Now they have to walk toward their target and they must hurry. The zombies have reached the town. They drive attention and all the citizens gather around them. They try to kill the zombies, but they aren't that weak to take down. Norman and others reach there too. They sneak by and run to the town hall. Alvin breaks the lock and they all get in. They have found the town's records, but they're like thousands of books. It will take hours to find what they're looking for. Meanwhile, the citizens have beaten up the zombies brutally, but you can't kill someone who's already dead. The zombies succeed in escaping and look for Norman. They enter the town hall from the back door, but a woman sees them doing that. She rushes to the town square and tells everyone where the zombies are. They all head towards the town hall with weapons in their hands. Courtney is frustrated with Norman and believes his plan will never work. They can never find the right document in these piles of records. Norman gets angry and tells everyone to leave. No one understands him and never will. He didn't ask for anyone's help. He'll fix things on his own. Courtney and others leave the record room and try to calm down the citizens outside. They intend to burn down the town hall. Norman is looking through the records, but the zombies have found him. He runs away and climbs up on the roof. He climbs further on the pillar and calls the witch's image appearing in the blood-red sky. Norman starts reading the book in a loud voice, but it doesn't seem to work. The witch laughs at him and throws him down. While falling, Norman witnesses the past, the time when the zombies were alive as human beings. They used to work as court juries, but they made the wrong decision. There was a little girl named Aggie who used to talk to the dead like Norman. The jury accused her of being a witch and executed her. When Norman gets up, he finds the zombies standing around him. They request him to read the fairy tale to the witch and put her back to sleep. Norman throws away the book and feels disgusted by the unfair decisions zombies took in the past. Aggie was just a little girl, but no one took mercy on her just because she was different. Putting her to sleep isn't a cure. Someone must talk to her and ask for her forgiveness. Norman steps out of the town hall and begs the citizens to stop. Unfortunately, they accuse him of siding with the evil and get ready to kill him too. Courtney can't take it anymore. She shouts at everyone and stands beside her brother. She doesn't clearly know what Norman is going to do, but she believes in him. He has been trying to save the town by all means. Norman tells everyone that zombies have no intention of harming them. They just made a mistake in the past that cursed them so badly. If people don't stop and think wisely, they may repeat the same mistake and the curse would never end. Everyone throws down their weapons and supports Norman. The witch is getting more and more furious. She must be stopped as soon as possible. Otherwise, the whole town will be destroyed. Norman requests his father to drive them to the witch's grave. The zombie guides toward the center of the forest. As they step out of the car, the trees start to bend and trap them inside. Only Norman makes it to the other side. He tells everyone to wait there while he proceeds further. He reaches where Aggie was buried. She tells him to go away and attacks him with wooden spikes. Norman doesn't give up and keeps walking forward. He starts telling a story of a little girl who has a special gift, but no one understands. He's narrating Aggie's life, but she doesn't want to listen to it. She attacks Norman continuously, but he doesn't give up. He keeps telling her that Aggie used to be a sweet girl with a special ability. She was scared of being misunderstood, so she distanced herself from others. She walked away so far that she was left alone. People thought her of being a witch and killed her. She hated those bad guys so much that she couldn't see the good ones. Aggie screams loudly and can't accept the facts. In hatred of others, she has become a bad person herself. Her urge of getting revenge has gone too far. Norman tells her the truth and holds her hand. As soon as he does that, they travel to Aggie's past. She was a beautiful girl who visited the forest every day to talk to her late mother. Then one day, those cruel people killed her. It's been 300 years since then. She has suffered enough while avenging her accusers. It's her time to go where she belongs. It's Aggie's choice now how she wants to end her story. She leans against Norman and her soul leaves the world. The zombies are finally free as well. The curse has been lifted away forever. Everyone deserves a chance to express themselves and be what they actually are. Being different is not a misfortune if you find someone who understands how special you are.
Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave a like and comment. Thank you.